Welcome to my channel. I'm a trained professional. I've been working with these animals for many years. So remember, do not attempt anything you see on my page, ever. Just watch and enjoy. Love y'all. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. It's time to answer some questions that y'all asked on the Q&A video that I posted. Now, I filmed this a few times. Once with snakes out, the audio is horrible. Once just now actually, trying to record it on the computer and put it over the footage I did film. Just not liking how it's turning out. So instead, I'm just gonna go through them and answer them like this. But yeah, I'll throw up footage whenever I can or feel it fits. Let's get to it. Just gonna go through and answer them all. Thank you to everyone again who left questions. We're gonna start with Ellen. She asked a few. Starting with, what is your favorite non-venomous snake, and do you currently keep any non-venomous snakes? My favorite, it's so hard. There's so many awesome snakes out there. It used to be the green anaconda when I was a kid. I loved it. Now I'd say probably some of the milk snakes. And I can't even narrow it down to one. So many beautiful ones. But do I currently keep any? I currently keep a non-venomous Nelson's milk snake. Don't know why I added the non-venomous. But yeah, Nelson's milk snake. And I do have a ball python. Good question. Our next question is, when do you plan on doing your next live stream? At this point, I was about to decide to just go live and answer the questions because giving up. I've filmed this 2 times already. Hated both times how it turned out. This is the 3rd time. So I was about to just go live, but I don't know when. I'd just go live randomly because I still get nervous. And yeah, not sure. But when I am more comfortable, I may set up a time or a certain day where I do go live and stick to a schedule. We'll see. Next question. What are the regulations on snakes, reptiles in your state? So in my state, it's legal to keep venomous snakes, but it goes by county. Some counties, it is illegal. Some you don't need anything, and some, I believe you do need a permit. What is your favorite snake in your collection? It's difficult to answer. So Lila, the monocle cobra, my favorite snake personality-wise. My favorite snake, also the black Pakistan cobra. Black's my favorite color. Cobra's my favorite snakes. So he's just awesome. My favorite. My favorite viper, the desert horn viper. And then, like even basing it on type, the favorite arboreal, eyelash viper. So I love my eyelash viper too. It's so hard. I love them all. It's hard to even pick favorites. What kind of work do I do? So I'm a zookeeper. Work with animals, cleaning, feeding, all types of animals, not just snakes. Educating the public, answering their questions, all sorts of things like that. And then, why is your mom so amazing and awesome? No idea, but I'm the luckiest on earth to have her. She's the best ever. The greatest mom on earth. I mean, look at this. When she visited Lebanon, she brought me back this awesome cobra. Look how cool. The best. Love you, Mom. So a question from Joel and even sweet Chiba Chiba. They kind of go hand in hand. Talking about venomous snake biting itself or other snakes like king snakes that eat venomous snakes. If they are immune or how they survive. And then sweet Chiba Chiba adds, are there other animals that can survive venomous snake bites? So the awesome thing about this, we're going to talk about a snake biting itself. So if a venomous snake bit itself and it died, it's not going to be very good. So the way this works, and it varies on venom, the way it works. So if it's venom that affects the blood, they have circulating antibodies that go through and eliminate the venom. If it's something that affects the nerves, let me try to explain this. So here's a nerve. Here's a tiny neuron going through. They'll have a modification to the nerve, so a sugar chain. So a big venom molecule can't bind because of that, but the neurons, the small neurons that need to go through, can go through and bind. Awesome. I know I simplified it, but hopefully it makes sense. And instead of neuron, I meant to say neurotransmitter. Just a correction. Just amazing. And there's other animals too, like the mongoose, like the honey badger, that can withstand venomous snake bites. And they have similar modifications as well. Amazing, right? Ralphie boy. Ralph asks, what are your favorite animals other than snakes? Now, I've always loved big predators. So, great white shark. That's one I always loved as a kid. Still do. They're so amazing. Big crocodiles. Nile crocodile. Saltwater crocodile. One of the coolest experiences, even to this day, was when I was visiting Florida a year or two ago, finding or seeing a wild American crocodile. Such an awesome experience. Yeah, great question, Ralph. Both of those. I don't even know, hard to even narrow it down. But great white shark and crocodiles in general. Used to love watching documentaries on both of those. Now, Joel also left another question about if people aren't comfortable around snakes, what should they do if they find one at their house or see one on the road? The only thing you really need to know is just leave them alone. But if you have one at the house and you don't want it there, there's people in pretty much every state that'll come relocate the snake for you. No charge usually. So that's a good way. Call one of them, come get it. Now he also asked how to get it off the road if that's something you want to do. If you don't know what the snakes are and it's a venomous snake, or you don't know if it's venomous, honestly, just don't put yourself at risk. That's all I can say. Good question, Joel. So Renee asks, do snakes have the ability to form an emotional attachment to the handler? Don't believe so, but I do believe that they know the difference between individuals. So if I'm working with my snakes and somebody else comes and does the same thing, they'll react differently. But yeah, good question though. Walker asks, do I experience nervousness or anxiety when getting ready to handle a venomous snake? At this point, not really. There are certain instances, like if big vipers that are defensive. Sometimes I do get maybe I get a little nervous with them. But those are like the only instances I can think of. Big defensive vipers. Sometimes I get a little nervous or just approach it differently. So like I won't do anything if no one's around. That makes sense. Yeah? Randall asks, who trained you and what makes you professional? So when I got my first venomous snake, I had no training, learned on my own, had many years experience before that working with non-venomous snakes, also catching snakes in the wild. But when I got my first one, didn't have experience or didn't learn from anyone. When I got my job, my boss became my mentor. He helped me hone in my skills. He also taught me many other things. So even to this day, almost 10 years later, still consider him my mentor. What makes you professional? We're going to look up the definition of professional and see. A professional is someone engaged in a specified activity as one's main paid occupation rather than as a pastime. So when I talk about I've professionally been working with venomous snakes for close to 10 years, I'm including when I got my job. Not the years before that. When I got my job, when I was paid to work with these animals. So that's when I consider my professional career starting. You dig? Iris asks, in your state, do you have to have a certain amount of hours with a mentor, or can anyone own them? Similar to Ellen's question, in my state, depending on county, don't need any hours, don't need a mentor. But also it can be completely illegal depending on the county. Good question. Mads asks, may seem like a strange question, but do you feel you become one with the snake when you are handling with the hook and tailing? I sure do. Even with the hook, I feel one with the hook. Even using two hooks. Mike asks, if you could travel to any country to see a particular species in the wild, which would it be and why? Country and species. Also, if you have considered traveling to do any more herping in other states, maybe overseas in the future. Mike, if I could travel anywhere, cobras are my favorite. I think Africa. They have the most amazing, they not only have cobras, but they have the most amazing vipers in my opinion. Rhino viper, desert horn viper, gaboon viper, bush vipers, and so many cobra species. Africa. I can't even narrow it down to species in particular. But yeah, that would be a dream come true. And considered traveling to other states, making herping videos? Yep, if I'm able to make this full-time, filming these videos, definitely going to travel, find snakes out in the wild, even in other countries. Good questions and thanks, man. One day, alright? Mistakes we are made. This is going to be the most common question I receive in general. Have I ever been bitten by a venomous snake? Nope. Have not. Maybe one day, we'll see. Aaron asks, what is one snake that's a goal for you to work with? This one's so hard for me to answer. Many of the snakes I'd always dreamed of working with, I get to work with daily. But I thought about this one. The red belly black snake from Australia. That's one snake goal. Love it. My favorite, probably my favorite snake in Australia. Trey asked about cottonmouths. They chase people. Actually, I'm going to react to old video I filmed on this. But yeah, they don't chase. Many things, people are just, they're looking at a behavior and thinking it's chasing them. Chasing means you'd run and it's still coming after you. They might be coming in your direction, but it's not for you. Even if you believe it is. Could be going to hide in a place right where you are, behind you. Could be because you're fishing. They eat fish. You catch a fish, or just the movement in general and it's coming to see what it is. Or maybe, they want a place to rest and your boat is there. All sorts of things. But yeah, they don't chase people. Common myth. People are still going to say that they do. Oh well. Eric asks, what was your first venomous snake? My first venomous snake was a Mexican cantil. The little baby. At that time, I didn't have experience with force feeding. This snake wasn't eating. It got to the point where I had to force feed, which means pinning it down, putting food in its mouth, massaging it down. Since I had no experience, didn't want to potentially hurt the snake or get myself bit. So I contacted a friend who had much more experience with me and knew how to force feed and gave the snake to him. But yeah, Mexican cantil. Darius asks, where do you hope to be in 10 years with your career and content? Kind of go hand in hand. I'd love for my full-time career to be making these videos. Content creation. Hopefully way before 10 years. But hopefully by then, it'll come true. We'll see. But that's my goal. Sweet chippa chip chibba chibba. Have you been bitten by a venomous snake? Nope. Have you ever seen anyone be bitten? No, but I have seen somebody cobra bite. Here's the body of the cobra. Here's the person's finger. It bit over. So like the fangs were in the snake's body, bit itself, but the mouth was over his finger. Very close. So Jess asked, once you are blessed with children, will you be keeping the snakes in the house? Luckily for me, I have a whole separate building for the snakes, so I won't have to change up anything. Maybe the baby room will be in the snake shed, who knows? Just kidding. Just kidding. Brian asks, I need a video on meeting girls that are into snakes in this post-pandemic world. Just asking. Will you ask? I don't know, man. My experience, I don't know. Before I met my beautiful, wonderful wife, Hannah, I had a tendency to get in toxic relationships. More toxic than any of the snakes I work with. So I'm not the best person to ask about this. Yeah. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It wasn't the way I originally wanted to film it, but it's been a few days. I want to get it up. I really appreciate everyone who asked questions. Love you all so much. Subscribe if you're new. Click the notification bell. A big shout out to my channel members.